Howdy, friends. If you're wondering what is around my neck, it is a beautiful knot necklace that Hannah made for me. I thought I'd show it off for all of you. You can see all the beautiful knots. Nonetheless, today's parable is called the Parable of the Two Sons. It's also found in the Gospel of Matthew in the 21st chapter. And this is one that I'm probably far too fond of for my own well-being. What do you think? A man had two sons. He went to the first son and said, "Son, go work in the vineyard today." And he answered, "I will not." But later he changed his mind and went. The father went to the second and said the same. And he answered, "I will go, sir." But he did not go. Which of the two did the will of his father? They said, "The first." And Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, the tax collectors and the prostitutes are going to the kingdom of heaven ahead of you. For John came to you in the way of righteousness, and you did not believe him. But the tax collectors and the prostitutes believed him. And even after you saw it, you did not change your minds and believe him." Jesus tells this story to some Pharisees asking questions, trying to understand what he's teaching, maybe a little bit to entrap him, cause a little bit of problems. But the whole idea is those who don't say the right words but do the right thing, and those who say the right words but don't do the right thing. We could label it just as hypocrisy, but I think this is a little bit deeper in the story. What we're talking about in a lot of ways is, what is it to say the right thing and live it out, to talk the talk and walk the walk, versus those who look the part but don't act the part. There's a story that I think is just quite funny that I heard from my godmother long ago, and she was this prim, proper, delightful little Lutheran woman whose Hannah's name comes from her middle name, at least. And she told this to me. I must have been 10 or 12 or 13, something like this, as an example. And it had this idea of a car going flying fast through a stoplight, passing people off, waving a certain finger at other drivers, yelling and honking. And the cop pulls over the woman who's clearly not following the rules. And he starts to talk to her, and she said, "What'd you pull me over for?" And he said, "Well, I assume this car must be stolen." She said, "Why would you say that?" And he said, "Well, on your bumper sticker, it says, 'What would Jesus do?' And it has the Christian fish. So clearly a Christian wouldn't act like this." Right? We have this idea of what a good Christian is supposed to look like, a good follower of Christ to look like. And Jesus, throughout his Gospels and his teachings, tells us something a little bit different, that often the people who look the most like they're following may not be. And the ones who look the most like there's no way they could be the ones following are the ones who are truly doing it. So my encouragement for you is to not look the part, but do the part. If you can do both, great. But I would rather spend my time around people who didn't look and sound like Christians who did the right thing than the pious ones who don't act like followers of Christ. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.